Fellas, have you ever watched a video game Let's Play? A playthrough? A gameplay commentary, perhaps? Well, about 6 years ago, I sure did. It was a little game called NieR Automata, which at the time, I had no idea what I was about to get into. Hey, so those of you familiar with Press Play might remember me here, there, and even on that segment. Point being, I haven't been on camera too much, but I've been sitting on the script for far too long to let my time at college here go by without at least doing one segment on it. So without further ado, this is a video about NieR Automata.
Everything that lives is designed to end. Yona was mine.
The meaning of life.
It's up to you to decide. Glory to mankind!
I love NieR Automata, and it became one of my favorite games of all time at a time when I was getting back into video games again in my teenage years. My first exposure to it was through a Let's Play by Bricky, formerly known as Bricky Orchid 8, and I watched a lot of it, almost all of it, at which I said to myself, hey, instead of finishing the series, watching it, I need to play this for myself. Despite experiencing the story already, playing this game for myself was an experience unlike no other. Up to this point, my experience with video games was old DS games, some Wii games, Overwatch. Undertale was my most recent obsession at the time. Despite NieR Automata being my first delve into the wild world of JRPGs, to this day, it stands tall as a peerless example of an insane, narratively complex video game writing. NieR Automata is written by the strange man Yoko Taro, who has gone on record saying he writes better while drunk than sober, when at home, of course. And yes, he wears that mask at all times in public appearances, because he prefers people to see him as an interesting character than an old man. He was also the writer for the Drakengard series and the original NieR, but we'll get to that. The first time I saw Yoko Taro was in an advertisement for NieR Automata where he jumps on the floor yelling NieR Automata t-shirt before cussing out the producers of the video game. Yoko Taro, at the end of the day, is a normal guy, a little bit weird, but regardless, he managed to write an inspiring and deeply philosophical narrative, at least to me. And because of that, there's no better place than to start with the writing of NieR Automata, which is without a doubt its strongest and most hard-hitting aspect for me. Without getting too much into spoilers, I'll be talking about why this game was such a hit for me and why I think you should play it too. Let's set the stage. NieR Automata is a sequel video game to NieR, Replicant or Gestalt, depending on if you like the big strong father figure or a young adult who's about to be way in over his head. The original NieR is actually a sequel to a joke ending of Drakengard 3. You can go back and play those games, especially NieR Replicant with its remaster from 2 years ago. And NieR Automata, at least, is a great place to start if you're new to the series. You start as the android unit 2B, one of the many android soldiers from Yorha, humanity's last hope against the machine forces. After a war which claimed countless human lives, Earth is left abandoned and buildings left to rust and decay, so nature begins to flourish again amongst the machines mindlessly inhabiting it. 2B is the perfect character to start the player off with here. The way you're meant to play the game is intentionally designed to be like 2B's mindset. Playing the game as 2B is like playing it with Goopy Goblin Gamer Brain, a term coined by Nakey Jakey, because thanks to the devs of Platinum Games, this combat is meant to be so satisfying. You feel rewarded for finding new weapons, mastering combos, min-maxing your stats, doing side quests, and that's why I love the choice for 2B as the introduction to this game. While 2B exists as a reserved and cold character, she warms up to this world, and more emotionally, she warms up to her partner, 9S. I think over time, I've come to appreciate 9S's character a lot more. He's your partner in your quest and an android that doesn't specialize in combat, as much as he does intel gathering and hacking. 9S is much more cheery than 2B. He's innocent, inquisitive about the world around him, and his dynamic with 2B is just really cute.
If we were human, we probably would have gone shopping and such here, right?
More meaningless conjecture.
You're so serious, 2B. You know that?
9S, I feel like, is the most human character, and it's his human traits which get the better of him sometimes, be it lack of professionalism.
This is 9S. Nothing to report. Weather's sure nice today, though.
Nothing to report. Copy that.
Emotions getting in the way of the mission, or grief through tragedies the androids bear witness to. But while you get to go through your journey with 9S by your side, you don't really learn as much about him or the nature of this world until enter Route B. Okay, so before we talk about that, I will have to spoil one minor thing about the plot structure in order to continue this. So if you want to go in absolutely blind, now's your chance to. Okay, so the plot structure in NieR Automata is a great example of non-linear storytelling, because after getting to the credits with 2B, you've only finished Route A. And in NieR Automata, there are 3 routes, A, B, and C, before you can get one of 3 main endings, and that's not even counting the other 21 endings. Across the game, there are several points where you can get an ending. Everybody say it with me now. Some way to die. To get these endings, you can blow up, uninstall your OS, eat a fish, commit war crimes, leave your friends to die, ignore your objectives to go fishing, commit more war crimes, choose to die, ignore the mission again to go to Disney World, choose to die again, just actually die by mistake, leave your friends to die again, and commit senseless acts of violence. And so, now that y'all understand the plot structure, let's get into Route B. Route B is, for the most part, the same as Route A retelling of the story from the perspective of 9S. But don't get me wrong, there's still so much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the back street? Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on. As I was saying, Route B. You get to control 9S playing through the events of Route A, but this time you get more lore, insight, and differences between the routes. This is the part where everything starts to click into place, and the puzzle of some of the questions left unanswered in Route A is finally solved. The thing is, as I've explained, while 2B is very uncaring and learns to feel more for this world, 9S is innocent and his curiosity sometimes gets the better of him. I think this dynamic is super interesting, how the characters evolve inversely and reflect one another in a beautiful narrative climax. And this all culminates in Route C. Wait. Before we get into Route C and why the climax of this game is so amazing to me, I haven't talked about one of the 3 characters on the box art, A2. Since I'm doing this without spoilers for the most part, I can't say too much about her other than she's so cool and my absolute favorite, and I am in no way biased. Shut up. A2 is another android you meet at some point in the story, and one of the most interesting things about her is that she doesn't have the blindfold. Now, the blindfold in the world is literally like the HUD, but in this way, it's more than that. It's a metaphor for the characters being blind to something. Frequently in the game, there's uses of characters having the blindfold either knocked off or taken off, which is a really unique visual way to demonstrate the state that the characters are in and how they are viewing the world. And A2 is one of the first characters we see not wearing one, which raises a lot of questions about who she is and why she's here. She's the absolute wild card, and her story leads to a better understanding of everything about this game's world. And so, Route C is by far my favorite route. It's the 3rd time you're hopping back into the game, but this time picking up where Route A and B end for one climactic ending playthrough. And man, is it absolutely heart-wrenching. And by the end, a beautiful love letter to humanity in all its forms. If Route B was filling in the pieces of a puzzle that Route A started, the beginning of Route C is finding out you missed 100 pieces of your puzzle that you already finished. The game hits you out of nowhere with something you weren't expecting until you realize it has been foreshadowed 2 routes ago. And most importantly, Route C is Yoko Taro at his most brutal. If you've played the original NieR, you'll know that Yoko Taro is not afraid to stab you in the heart in his game's final act. And that is why I love Route C. It's the culmination of everything in one great big narrative tragedy. The writing in this game is so well done. It's continued to stick with me even after all these years, 6 years now. Though some of the other games I've played have stolen my heart for their art or music or combat, I'll never forget how much care and detail was poured into this game. And that's why I love NieR Automata's writing so much. Wait, what? I just got confirmation that I have 2 more pages. In order to not squander this opportunity, I need to tell you about the side quests in this game, because those have been burning a metaphorical hole in my pocket, but in my brain. Usually side quests in games tend to be pretty boring, from fetch quests to escort missions. The rewards are usually just okay, and the experience of doing them on average ranges from a chore to a moderately enjoyable sequence of events. I'm not here to tell you that some of the side quests in NieR Automata are really good. I'm here to tell you that all of the side quests in NieR Automata are really good. Robo Dojo, Idiot Savant, Animal Care, Family Squabble, The Wandering Couple, Amnesia? Like, come on. The fact that I remember most of these just from seeing their names should tell you a lot about either the game as a testament to how well these side quests made an impression on me, or about how much these have been living in my head rent-free because I've had no one to talk to about it. Anyway, each and every side quest is like its own little side story, and all of these help to build the world so much more. It's everything from the mundane and simple life to the struggles of getting by in this world. I mean, this guy is literally posing to you the philosophical question of the ship of Theseus as he reconstructs his own leg. The Wandering Couple is one of my favorites for portraying just how harsh this world is, for 2 androids just trying to make it to a safe place on their own. Amnesia might be one of my favorites because it not only adds lore about Yorha, but ends in a shocking twist that foreshadows major events in the story. And Robo Dojo is about a robot named Father Servo who wants to be the strongest warrior, and you, his pupil, must spar with him. Every character was so memorable to me, and I grew attached to them even though they were a minor character to the larger story. And that's because these aren't supposed to feel like errands, except for that one quest literally named Popola's errand. But instead, these side quests are meant to be played to get a fuller understanding of the story and the world as a whole. I loved every side quest in this game, which is a big reason as to why I did actually 100% this game. Yep, that's right, platinum trophy and everything. NieR Automata was the first game and only game I've ever completed to its fullest. I want that to be a sign to you or your friends of yours who have ever been thinking of trying this game that it is a phenomenal experience. So go play this for yourself or watch someone play it. I don't know your life. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I've been Billy. I hope you have a great day or night, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bye-bye.